All right, three, two, one. All right, welcome to the Pornhub. Sorry, the the Hub of Hubs uh, channel. If you like this video, leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff. Basically, today I will be going over the AMC Stock MOASS and price predictions, potential price predictions. Quick disclaimer, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm a dummy. I'm just going to show you info that I've gathered, and I'm going to show you different sources here, and then go over, possibilities and not even what I think, but I just want to show what I think is possible. I know some people are going for the $1 million per stock share or 100,000, which is fine. That is, I guess, it is possible. I'll show a video where a guy actually shows that it's mathematically possible. Um, and then I'll kind of go over the numbers that I've been playing around with on this geometric calculator, or geometric means calculator. And then you guys can put your own numbers in there and also leave comments and, let me know if you agree or don't agree and why. Because, like I said, I don't know. I don't think, there's never been a MOAS. There's just been a bunch of short squeezes, and I'm just gonna kind of give my thinking behind what I think right now. So a quick overview of what I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna go over. Let's see. We'll go over other short squeezes like the GameStop short squeeze, the small one that AMC had. I'll go over the Volkswagen short squeeze of 2008. I'm going to go over the bank bailouts of 2009 and how much money that cost. Who pays for MOAS? What else? Um, how much the Volkswagen squeeze was. The reverse stock split for AMC, how that's going to affect MOAS, all that stuff. How much Citadel is worth, blah, 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 DTCC, all that stuff. So let's just get to it. So here we go. You can see all of my sources, all the websites up here that I'm using. So let's check it out. Remembering the legendary Volkswagen squeeze. So it happened in 2008, and it looks like the peak of it was about $1,000, right? Let's see. So it talks about short selling here. Basically, people are betting against a company or a stock. Um, the stock ends up doing well, and now there is a short squeeze. We're squeezing money out of these short sellers, short betters. Another, a great movie to watch is The Big Short that's on Netflix right now. What a coincidence, huh? So let's check it out. It talks about how short squeezes work. Just go and look that up. That way, I can try to keep this as short as possible and we can get to the good stuff. This is how it happened. Okay, so I think this is important. So the owning company of the Volkswagen stock float was Porsche, right? So they had, let me see, they had a 44% stake in Volkswagen, and they got 31 more percent using options, which were other little bets. So in total, it looks like what, 75%. And there were only 6% of shares left that people were. Uh, so the shorters do have to buy these shares back, right? And then another 20%. Okay, there you go. So less than 6% of shares. So 75 with the 44 they had and the 31 they acquired, with another 20% held by a German state, which is 95, probably more like 94 point something, and then 6%, less than 6, so 5 point something, right? Um, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So look, check this out. So consequently, Volkswagen became the world's most valuable company with a market cap of $370 billion in 2 days. So that means Volkswagen was worth $370 billion in 2 days, which is more than ExxonMobil was at the time, which we have here. It was worth $343 billion. Now, an interesting thing that that we might like to look at. Let's see what's the Right now, the largest company is Apple. So let's see their market cap. I believe it's somewhere near 3 billion. I think their stock hasn't been doing that well. So it's, I mean, 3 trillion. So it's been a little bit lower, but you can see over here that it's hit three. It's been super close to 3 trillion. I mean, it's pretty close to 3 trillion right now. Okay, so $3 trillion market cap. So let's say if a squeeze were to happen, and you know, the AMC would be worth at its peak, could be worth maybe $2.8 trillion if we follow the what's it called, the trend here. Now again, it was worth $370 billion. Let's do that in 2008 dollars. 370 billion. That's 370 million. So today that would be $525 billion. Okay, but obviously Apple is worth like almost 6 times that. Okay, 5 times that right now. Almost six. Okay, so we have to keep that in mind. Like the price of the largest market cap is much higher, percentage wise, or in today's dollars than it was in 2008. Okay, so there's a big gap there. So again, this is where like MOASS is uncharted territory. Okay, so now we see that the stock went up to about 1,000. And then, so it began going down because Porsche announced that it would sell up to 5% of its stake to make life easier for hedge funds and short sellers. And that was to avoid further market distortions and the resulting consequences for those involved. Okay, so what that means is the rich are helping the rich, right? So Porsche is like, all right, look, we're going to sell 5% of our stake. We're going to help these short sellers just kind of cover their shit quickly so that it doesn't fuck up the rest of the market. Another thing that is kind of related to this is that Adam Aron just created 40 million shares of AMC. So we're gonna add 40 million shares. Right now we're at 158.3 million shares in the float. So that means AMC is divided into 158 million shares after the reverse stock split. With 40 million extra shares, that brings the total up to 198 million shares, basically 200 million shares. So we're gonna have to keep that number in mind. Um, let's see. So look, if we do the math here, if we'll say each share reached a peak of $1,000, right? $1,000. Where's that damn calculator at? So we have $1,000 times, or actually we should divide because I don't know how many shares there were. It reached a peak of $370 billion, right? We divide that by 1,000, and we have what is that? 370 billion shares. Okay. Wait, 370 million shares. Sorry, 370 million shares. So about double AMC, right? Double AMC. Okay. So yeah, double AMC. You got to keep all these things in mind. Okay, so what happens if there's a giant squeeze and Adam Aron, a rich dude, is like, and look, I'm not saying, I know there's a lot of Adam Aron haters out there. I'm really not one of them. I think he's going to try to do what's best for his investors. It is his fiduciary responsibility. Legally, he does have to do that. But again, I think his responsibility ends at keeping the company alive and not basically causing MOASS. Because if he caused MOASS, I'm sure he's got a lot of billionaire friends, and it's a small circle, and you piss some of them off, you're pissing off your friends, you're costing them a lot of money. Who knows if he would try to prevent MOASS by dumping all of the 40 million shares out when it's squeezing hard and going into MOASS territory. I don't know. I'm just saying that is a possibility. I don't know the guy, but imagine if you have 40 million shares and you have the ability to stop an economic collapse. Let me make sure this thing's recording still. You have you have the ability to stop an economic collapse, or just basically like destroy the world economy, which we can get into with like the, how deep MOASS can get. People are gonna be pissed at you, man, all over the world, because if the U.S. Market collapses, that's gonna have ripple effects everywhere else. Like the global economy, global markets are all tied together now, and one thing here, especially one thing here in the U.S., is gonna like mess things up for everybody. I'm just putting that out there. Who knows? Okay. So look, short sellers lost about $38.33 billion. That's a pretty hefty amount. Yeah, that's a big amount. Okay, now the GameStop squeeze. We saw that going, and we got to remember that they're putting halts. They put halts to GameStop. GameStop. They stopped the buy button on GameStop and AMC, and only left the sell button, which messed that up too. So they might try to do that to prevent MOASS as well. Um, you know, the why wouldn't they? They don't want to lose any more money. And I do feel like there are a lot of paper hands, a lot of weak-minded people that, and I'm not gonna lie, I used to be one when I was invested in Bitcoin years ago, where I let my emotions get to me, and I sold way before I should have. And people right now, I see the desperation too. They want to sell to break even because they've been in the red for so long. And a little disclaimer: I'm about 90% in the red right now. So I've got about 10% of what I put in. So I would tell people, or I would try to convince them to think like this: you're already in the red. Why would you sell now? Why would you sell now? Hold on until it explodes and you make a decent amount of money. You're already in the red. Like, just hold on. And you should be kind of noticing things. There's a lot of FUD out there: fear, uncertainty, and doubt. A lot of scare tactics going on. A lot of people that care about our money now, all of a sudden. A lot of people that care about retail investors and the decisions they're making with their money, which, before they didn't, like, these people didn't care. They didn't care if we lost money. The MSNBC, who's the MSNBC guy? I don't even know if he's MSNBC, but what's his name? Jim Cramer. I mean, that guy was always making bad bets. He never warned anybody about like real things, or like the market crash. Like, nobody warned us about that. They would always try to say, "Oh yeah, everything's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it." And then the market crashes, and where everybody else is screwed. So it's kind of weird that all of a sudden they care. Now, here's another thing. Okay, 2021, 260 million shares outstanding. Okay. Um, so here we go with the market cap. Oh, I think that's right now. Let me see. 2021. Okay. I think it was January, wasn't it? What is this crap? Get off. Okay. Let's go 5 years. So, this is all adjusted. All right, whatever. Anyway, AMC, I mean, GameStop, went up to around 400 something dollars. I think in the pre-market it went a lot higher per stock, per share. Average stock price was 42. I don't see the. All right. Well, I was gonna look up the basically the, what's it called, the price, and to the market cap to shares available, but whatever. We can go on here. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can find it on here. Short selling and squeeze. Michael Berry, short squeezing. Here we go. Here we go. This is what I wanted to see. Okay, look at the peak, and look, there were two little peaks here, 347 and 325. I don't know if that's the top or or what, but look at all that volume. I'm sure people were selling. Man, there's no halting of stock, decline in value. Let's see how much these guys lost. All right, well, this didn't have what I wanted it to have, but that's fine. All right. Anyways, let's get into the meat of it. Geometric means and the squeeze. So go and follow this guy, Review Dork. This is a good video. I put his thing at 1.5 speed. I'm going to be pausing it. Go watch the full video. It's really good. I want to get into what this dude basically says about geometric means. And then I do have some little chapters that I want to go through. So here, listen to this.
Let me explain it to you, you smooth brainy. The geometric mean is a special type of average where we multiply the numbers together and then take a...
Oh my God.
You're looking at my trading account right now.
You shut up, guy. All right, so while that goes on, okay, here we go. Fucking God.
Root. Okay. Now, if we have 21 points as we showed on the graph, then that is the nth root. We will then calculate for that. And when we do these calculations, now I'm going to do this for 100,000, and then I'm going to show you guys what 500,000 looks like, because there's some men out there who just want to see the world burn. All right, so I'm not...
So he's right. This is where we start talking about like the world markets crashing and things like that. And a quick thing about geometric means is that well, I'll let him talk
doing
about
this by hand. I'm using the geometric mean calculator. If you guys want to do this yourself, go ahead. I'll include a link down in the description. But here we can see we have our popular price targets on the way up and on the way down already populated, and we are going to calculate this. And we have a geometric mean of 1,529.
Keep in mind as well, this is with the old AMC float. Or the float. This was 2 years ago, so this was before Ape. So I believe back then it was around 500 million shares, 516 million shares. So if we go back to the calculator, so we have a price of 1529, right? So 1529 times 516 million. And then we get, what is that? $788 billion. So $788 billion. That is how much, that's basically like the market cap that it would be at, right? So the way geometric means works, if I would let this guy finish. Let's see.
Now, why are we taking geometric mean? The reason why we have to use the geometric mean is because we can't assume that it's going to reach 100,000 and stay there, right? Again, we have the chart that goes up and it goes down. And so then we have the average of all that movement and the assumed exits of people as they're riding the squeeze. And that is $1,529.
So all of these price points are where people will sell. So I'm going to do this on the calculator, and you guys will be able to see that calculator. I'll probably put the link in the description so you guys can mess with that yourselves. Because the price points are different now, right? With the reverse stock split and the conversion.
Now, what does this mean? Well, if we go onto a calculator and we assume that there's 450 million shares. Now, we're not accounting for synthetics. We're just going to say 450 million outstanding shares. And we times that by the value that was given to us here, which is 1,529. And this gives us a grand number, talking about a $688 billion valuation on a company based on this mean. This means that the hedgies and insurance and anybody involved in this squeeze sounds impossible.
This is where he talks
Let's
about
take
Apple.
A look at Apple, guys, because Apple has a market cap of $2 trillion.
Okay, and look at how much Apple has risen since then. Okay, so that's this dude's video. And now here's somebody else talking about the geometric mean. And this is great. I haven't been able to find something that can plot this for me online. But check this out. So now these are the price points where people are going to sell at, right? They're going to sell at... So there's 0.1. So $20, $50. Keep in mind, this is before the reverse stock split and conversion. Those price points, and they go all the way up to 100K. Is that 100K or a million? What did they say here? 500K floor is possible. Okay. Oh, okay. They went up to 750,000. Okay, they went up to a million then. Is that a million or 100K? What the hell? Yeah, that's a million. Okay. So these were the price points that they put in. So they think people would sell. There's going to be a mass sell-off at 20, 50, 100. These are the paper hands, right? And then the bulk of them, the bulk of them would be here, actually, with just a few people reaching this height of a million. Okay. All right. So now that we know that, so look, this is the geometric mean is $11,273. So that means if we just averaged it out, everybody would be able to get that equally. So we would multiply the float by this to get the perceived, or the I guess notional market cap. Okay, so this is, go look this up on Reddit, do your reading, all that stuff. Okay. And then I was going to do a little calculation, but let's see real quick again. Well, let's just go over it. Fuck it. Okay. So now with the reverse stock split. So what I noticed a lot of people saying like, hey, you got to divide everything by 10, but that it's not that easy, right? The closer number to divide it by now is around 5. Okay. And let me give the reasoning behind that. Say you bought 100 AMC shares, right? You bought 100 AMC shares, and when the APE dividend happened, you were given 100 APE, right? So now we had 100 AMC and 100 APE. Okay, fine. But they did the reverse stock split, right? So now all of your AMC are divided by 10. So every 10 AMC becomes 1, and now every 10 APE shares become 1. So now we divide our AMC shares by 10, and we have 10 AMC shares. Now we have to do one more thing with our AMC shares. We have to divide the number of AMC shares we have left by 7.5. So divide that by 7.5, and we end up getting 1.33 shares. So they just give us one AMC share. So now we add our one AMC share to our previously 100, now 10 AMC shares, plus our previously 100 APE that became 10 APE that turned into 10 more AMC shares. And we come up with 21. Okay. So 21 shares. So again, look, we have 21 shares, right? So from the 21 shares divided by the 100 that we had is 0.21, which basically comes out to 5. We divide by 5, right? That's the closest number that I can come up with. Now, everybody's number is going to be different because you may have bought more APE or you may have bought more AMC at different points throughout after the APE dividend was given, right? Before the conversion and stock split. Okay? So keep that in mind. But a general rule of thumb is to just divide by 5. So, and then it gets a little crazier with the float as well, because remember, there are 40 million AMC shares that can be put out at any time, and Adam Aaron did say he wasn't going to put them all out, but they can be put out at any time. Okay, so let's go. So previously, the highest, and here's another thing to keep in mind: a lot of people's averages. So like right now, my average is 70. We'll go with $73 per share. That's the average price I've paid per share now that the reverse stock split and conversion has happened. If I divide that by 5, this looks about right. I think it was like 15, 16 bucks before, and I've been buying lately, been buying more at a low price, trying to bring my average down. So right now my average is before the stock split, it would have been $14.60. Okay. I know a lot of people. I know I bought some stock when it was around 50 bucks, but I bought the bulk of it when it was around, I think 16 bucks. I know a lot of people bought around 50. Some people bought at 60. So we have to remember everybody's average is different. I don't know what the average of averages is, but I'm going to guess, let's just go with 45 bucks. Okay. We'll divide that by 5. Oh no, we would have to multiply that by 5 to go the opposite way. $45 times 5, since everything was divided by 5, so we'll multiply this by 5. So $225 for people to start breaking even, right? But I'm going to set the bar lower than that. I'm going to set the bar at $100. I think if people see $100, the paper hands are going to get all fucking wet. Be like, "Oh, I got to sell ASAP cuz this thing's a bust." They're going to buy into all the bullshit FUD, all the scare tactics. And if we divide this by 5, that would mean that they're selling around $20. Okay? So we'll just do that. We'll start off with 100. So we'll go with 100, comma, then we can go to like 250, and then we can start getting bigger to like 500, maybe 750. Oh man, here's another thing we have to think about, guys. Like, there's just so many variables here, and that's why this thing is so hard to predict. That's why I want people to comment and, I don't know, post this on Reddit and share it, and let's get a conversation going. Because I know what I'm gonna hold to, and I'll let you guys know that at the end. But some people are gonna diamond hand it, and if we just hold, if we don't sell our shares, we can literally make them pay whatever we want. Now, who knows if the government will step in, or you know what institutional step in, if the SEC does something to like end it. But Porsche, you saw Porsche, they owned about 95%, 94, 95% of the float, right? And they decided, all right, we're going to end this because we don't want to cause any more like economic turmoil. Now, the apes can think as one, hopefully, and diamond hand, but who knows? There's going to be a lot of paper hands, a lot of people selling off. Yeah, who knows? Who knows what this thing can get to? There's just so many variables here. People selling off at different prices. We can just hold, force them to pay up more. 1,000. We'll go with like 1,500 here. Oh, this was the other thing that I was gonna say. There's just so many variables, guys. Now that the float has been, there's been a reverse stock split. The float is much smaller, which means it's going to be a lot more volatile. Now the shorts still have the same percentage of shares that they shorted. So let's say, I don't even know how many times they could have shorted the float, but let's say they shorted the float like 2 or 3 times, right? People think that because the reverse stock split happened that like it went away. No, it didn't. It just, the share amount got divided by around 5, but that still means that they shorted the float around 2 or 3 times. However many times they shorted it, that's how many times they shorted it, no matter what, reverse stock split or not, it doesn't matter. The only thing that changes is the unit, right? So like our unit, or the quantity of shares that we had changed, but the value didn't, right? Well, I mean, technically it did, because they started fucking with it so hard, to where now it's at what, $7, right? Which would be like $1 and something if we divide that by 5. I know some people are saying 70 cents, but no, we got to put in ape, the value of ape, and the other shares that we got. Okay, so look, and these numbers, I don't know if people will sell to this. I just think that these are price points that everybody would keep track of, right? Like if we hit 100, I'd be like, okay, when are we hitting 250? We hit 250, shit. Okay, when are we gonna hit 500? 750, 1,000. Okay, if we hit 1,000, like, will it go up to 1,500? Right? So like I could be wrong here too. We'll just go with see, I want to put like 2,500 here. I'm gonna be super conservative. I'll go with 3,500 here, and then I'll go with 5,000, and then I'll go with 7,500, and then we'll go with 10 G's, and then we'll go with 15,000. Remember, these are prices per share that people are gonna sell at, and I'll leave that cap right there. Okay, 10,000, 7,500, 5,000, 3,500, 2,500, 50,000, 1,500, 1,000. And you guys feel free to put me at like 1.5 times speed, 2 times speed. I know I talk a little slow, so if that helps you get through this, go for it. Okay, so now let's see. This is the average price per share, $1,600. Now this is where it gets even more confusing, muddy. Okay, so $1,600 a share, right? With the peak being at $15,000 per share. We'll go with $1,600, right? Now the float right now is 158 million shares. Million shares, okay? I'm not gonna put all the extra zeros because it just there's no commas on here and it's kind of annoying. So we'll go with 158 million. So for every 3 numbers, that's a million, right? We're dealing in the millions right now. Times $1,600 leaves us with, if this would be 800 million, $252 billion market cap. Now this is completely possible. This number isn't even the market cap that Porsche hit in today's dollars. Not even there. Not even there. So let's go higher. Let's go higher. Let's see. $15,000. All right, well, let's go with a 20,000. And we'll go with 25,000. And then we'll go 20,000 again. On the way down, right? People selling on the way up, selling at 100. This is the peak, 20,000, 25,000, and then people selling on the way down. And who knows if they would even get to hit these numbers, because it would probably shoot. It would be so volatile. It would be shooting up and down so hard. Who knows? There we go. 2,100. We'll say 2,115. We'll just round up. 2,000. Okay. 158 million shares times 2,115. 330. Okay, so now this is what ExxonMobil was worth in 2008. These numbers are possible, guys. I think Citadel is worth what, $62 billion in assets. And then we have to get in. We got to get into who pays. But hold on. Okay, here's another thing. What happens if Adam Aron dumps all the shares? Now we have 198 million shares, and this changes everything, times the first geometric mean, 316. Okay, still possible, right? That was with the $15,000 high, $15,000 a share high, right? Now let's do the 2115 times 198 million shares. This is if Adam Aron floods all those shares. $418 billion and 770 $418 billion $770 market cap. That's pretty close to this. 418. Yeah, it's close enough. So this is possible still. And I the paper hands will sell here, they'll sell here, they're gonna be scared. Oh my god, it hit 100, it's gonna go back down, Okay, so play with these numbers. Let's say people are just diamond handing, they're just fucking beasts, right? We just take that off, we take this off. What would that be? Okay, there we go. So you see that we there's a lot here. I mean, let's make them even more paper hands, right? Let's say they sell at $50. $50, $100. And go with $100 and $50 on the way down because they missed it. Look, that's still low. And that would be a $25,000 peak per share. Okay, so this is insane, guys. Like who knows? It all depends on who paper hands, who holds. Now, here's another thing that we can get to. Here, I'm gonna do something ridiculous. Okay, here, let's go even higher. Let's go even higher. Let's just say it's so volatile. We'll go with 50 grand. And then we'll here. We'll go 35 grand, 35,000, 45,000. Okay. 45,000 on the way down. 35. And this is all speculative again. Mess around with the numbers yourselves. Try to see where you would sell at, and I'll let you guys know where what I want to, where I'm thinking of. That's wait, what? Did I do this right? Let me make sure there's some spaces here. I did it right. Whoa, that's 2780. We'll round up 2782. 158 million shares times 2782 per share. 430. Wait, what? These I was not coming up with these numbers before. $439 billion. That is insane. 439 billion. Now it's going to be a little different now. The 198 shares with the extra $40 million shares that Adam Aaron has to put out. 2782. So half a $1 trillion. Okay, that's not even the largest market cap. Let's keep getting ridiculous. I'm just gonna get super ridiculous right now so that we can get up to the $3 trillion market cap. Okay, so 75,000, 100K. I wasn't coming up with these numbers last time. I don't know why. 150,000, and then we'll just go back to 100K. 75. 50. Okay. 4,000, and then I'll just what? This is not making sense. I was doing this last time and I was coming up with completely different numbers. Let me double check this. 25K, 35K, 45K, 50K, 75K, 10K, 100K, 150K, 100K, 75,000, 50. What? That's crazy. This is insane. I was not expecting this, actually. Okay, let's go with 200K per share. And then we'll go with 250K per share. Oh, wait. Oops. There we go. Okay, let's see what that is. Let's get crazy. Okay. $6,308. Let's just go with 6,310. 6,310 times. Let's just go with the full 198. Adam Aaron puts out all the shares, and we're going crazy. $1.2 trillion. This is insane. $1,249,380. This is with, if people sell at all these price points, with a $250,000 per share peak. Okay, this is, I think I was wrong, dude. I thought it was much lower, and this is kind of changing everything for me. I'm gonna have to redo all these numbers again and see where I went wrong. What the 380 million, 249 billion, 1 trillion. What? Okay, I'm tripping out. This is crazy. And that would mean that on average, everybody would sell each share for about $6,308. This is, I need people to just put in their own numbers and share it. I'm gonna as soon as I finish this video, I'm gonna do more. Or you know what? I'll do more at the end, and I'll put up little chapters on here so that we can get going. Okay. So so who pays for MOASS? So again, go find these people on Reddit and do some reading. So it would be the hedge funds first, right? So hedge funds, prime brokers, market makers like Citadel. So remember the $62 billion in assets that they have right here. Okay. And then the DTCC. The DTCC. How much are these cucks worth? The DTCC. Let's see. Where are you at? I swear I had all this stuff pulled up and ready to go, and now it's making me look like an ass. Okay, here we go. DTCC. This is just talking about securities. Securities. Where is it at? Alright, this is annoying. CC assets. Okay, here we go. That's not right, because it was a lot higher, I think. Okay, that's a 2011. There we go. World Economic Forum. Look at that. DTCC transactions provides custody and asset servicing for securities in territories valued at 72 trillion. I don't know. I'm not happy with that. Hold on. DTCC asset worth. Okay. Quadrillions. Settled transactions. I don't know where the freaking number's at. It was like 67 trillion, I think. Okay, there we go. 67 trillion in assets. Active issues held at. Oh, God. Well, you guys can look this up. Point being that 63 trillion in assets. I thought I saw 67 somewhere. Whatever. Who cares? Who cares? Point is they have a shit ton of money, right? So after all these fucks go broke, it's the DTCC's turn to pay up, right? And these guys all have insurance and stuff to pay for stuff. So here we go. Like the number ones go bankrupt. DTCC are like the central bank. They pledge assets to pay things off if other people can't. The largest insurer in the world, Alliance, has only 1.4 trillions of assets. I work in insurance, and I'm confident that the entire global insurance combined could not pay for us. Exactly. So this is the thing that I've been talking about here with the $1.4 trillion is like it's gonna disrupt a lot of shit. Okay. It's going to disrupt a lot of things. But the DTCC has 60 something trillion dollars in assets. So it would be able to pay up, but this is a worldwide institution, which is a private institution that has a shit ton of money. They're going to have to pay up somehow, or they're going to be on the hook for it. Okay. Citadel, we went over their assets. Okay, 62 billion is like what, 6% of a trillion. Okay, so you need no, not even six. It's not even 6%. Wait, 62. I think. Oh, it is 62 billion is about 6.2%. Okay. All right, it's late. My math is all jacked up right now. Okay, and here's another thing I wanted to look at, okay? Speaking of the money, in 2008, how much were the bailouts? Let's find out. Remember, the U.S., our government has been giving billions of dollars around, I think a total of 100 billion, more or less, give or take, whatever, to Ukraine, okay? No questions asked. No questions asked. But what about us? The bailouts of 2008, 2009 for the banks came out to about $498 billion. That's why I had this up. $498,000,000,000,000,000. In today's dollars, that would be $709 billion, almost a trillion, okay? So Obama was able to bail out the banks in 2009 for, in today's dollars, would be 0.7 trillion dollars. Okay, $0.7 trillion dollars, basically $709 billion. Okay, They were able to do that. People were pissed about it. Congress people spoke, some of them spoke out against it. Most of them didn't. So we can see that the government can print out this much money, right? They printed a lot more out for the COVID stimulus stuff, all that stuff. Okay, so when we're looking at the market caps of these geometric means, 124, we got to remember that the government coughed this up basically in today's dollars. So all of these prices are pretty realistic. At least the other ones were the smaller ones of like, what was it, like 2,000, 3,000. Okay, they were all pretty realistic. That was the geometric mean, and they went up to 100,000. Some of them. Here, let's take off. Let's just go 150K. 150K top, right? 4,000. We'll just go 4,500, and we'll go with the full float, 198 million shares, times 4,500. Is that what it was? 4,500. Okay. Make it easy. 891 billion. Pretty close. So that means that most people, on average, people would sell each share for 4,500. But, the people could see a peak of $150,000 per share. So that really is possible. It really is possible. Okay. So there's that. There's that. And then here is, I wanted to talk about one last thing, okay? There's this guy, YouTuber named AntsTrades. Go follow him. This guy, his his technical analysis, I think I've been following this guy since the beginning of the year. February or March, I don't remember. After Scavenger Stonks, who's another YouTuber, talked about his TA. But this dude talks about fractals, and he's also got a new video on fractals that came out yesterday. Go check it out if you want to understand more about that. But dude, this guy has been on it. He has given some predictions on dates, which were kind of wrong, but that was him trying to predict kind of like the unpredictable. In the overall picture, the macro picture, he's been spot on. Okay. So I kind of want to go over some of the things he starts talking about right here. And I'm going to go over why AMC will probably be squeezing soon. This guy doesn't really care about fundamentals, whereas AmcBiggums does care about fundamentals. And I'm on both of their sides. I think fundamentals are important. And I also think that these fractals are pretty important as well. And real quick, one last thing about fundamentals is that why does AMC price seem to go down anytime something good happens? Why after the last quarter earnings did AMC stock price go down after AMC was profitable for the first time in years? Yeah, it was maybe only like $7 million, but who cares? They finally made money back. They were profitable. Why would it go down? And then with this, it still kept going down. $26 million in pre-sales, pre-sale tickets for AMC theaters for Taylor Swift's Era Tour film. AMC is going to get 43% of the sales, so 40% of that would be like what, $10 million, around $10 million. That's $10 million. Plus they're gonna sell food and popcorn and soda. They're gonna sell like buckets and stuff. So this is why I think the big AmcBiggums is right on the fundamentals matter, because AMC's making moves to be profitable again and not lose money, which kills the short thesis. Okay, the short thesis is companies were shorting AMC because they're like, theaters are dead, streaming's the new thing. COVID came, nobody can go to the theaters now, let's short the fuck out of them and get the stock to zero and make them go bankrupt. But AMC came back and has been making money. People are going back to the theaters. They've got this going on with Taylor Swift. Like, AMC is doing really good right now, so that's going to kill the short thesis. There's kind of no point for the short, the people that are the institutions that are shorting AMC to short them anymore. because they're making money now. They're not gonna go bankrupt anytime soon. Why would you short them? Okay. So here, let's check out what AntsTrades has to say about the macros. So basically, what Ant is saying here is that AMC's been on a fractal, right? A repeat pattern about every 3 years, and it's repeating again. And look, these squares correlate with these. So go check them out for a full analysis. But here, I'll play a little.
Before you actually get into the downtrend, which is a descending wedge, and I have the boxes labeled this time with the colors. So the green, the first iteration, W, just stair stepping your way.
Every Monday
no,
evening.
Another freaking ad. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Into the blue, where you drop to the flat portion. This green horizontal line that you see here, you play out the whole flat portion, break out, and retest in this yellow box. It's very small, but it's there. And then over here, same thing, breaking down from the blue, playing out the flat portion here, and then you get the breakout and the retest in the yellow. And that is it for that. I have a macro halt here in August, I believe. Again, halted in March. And I threw 2 more halts in today. One right here and one right here.
So this is where he starts to talk about like resistance and breaking out of a wedge.
Here, both when you came close to breaking out of the bilateral triangle. Twice we were halted in the bilateral triangle when we were close to breaking out of it, and then we actually did poke through the top of it and came near the resistance of the macro and halted again. This is pretty much just showing you that this is in fact the pattern. This is the pattern on AMC, the descending wedge here and the bilateral triangle that broke us out of the descending wedge.
Okay, so then here at 5 minutes we have him talking about the volume and the OBV. So the OBV, I don't really know what that stands for, but I believe if there, it would be positive, or the number would be higher if there is more buying, and it would be lower if there was more buying overall. So the total of shares sold and shares bought in one day. Okay.
We'll start with the volume. Same. This is the macro perspective. The full macro I covered at the start of the video. So from IPO, very low volume back here all the way through this until you get to the end of the wedge. So the descending wedge, the downtrend, the end of the macro. This is the end of the macro, the descending wedge, before you break out and squeeze. This is the start of a new macro right here. So very low volume all the way through this. I don't know if you can really see it. It's pretty small. And then starts picking up towards the end of the wedge here. When you get to the flat portion, you start picking up in volume. And then you get your breakout move. Volume really starts to pick up before you have all-time high volume on the January squeeze. And then you pull back for the retracement. And the volume profile coincides with that, pulling back for a cool-off. And then another pump here in June. The volume spikes again. From June, play out the flag and break.
So he goes over the TA and stuff, and look, volume is spiking again. Volume is spiking again, but it's going down. Doesn't make sense, okay? And then here at the 8-minute mark, he talks about resistance and support prices and AMC going down to 0, but like how that's not a bad thing. So this is a good thing to keep an eye on, right? Today is September 11th, and right here, I think AMC was at it. I think it's still around $7.18, right? This video is a few days old, or 1 day old. So he's going off data from last week. But look, tomorrow the 12th, it would still be around like $7, right? So the longer we go, the lower the price can go, and it's still being supported. But here, I'll let him talk about it a bit.
Resistance now acting as support. I adjusted it slightly, where this would have been the first poke through right here and just bouncing on top. This is more or less a fake out, break back through, again fighting for it. Then you got this nice pop here when you bounce off, and then pretty much flat here. This was the end of the bilateral triangle, so really didn't get a chance to test the wedge here. Just Tuesday next week, these two trends intersect.
That's
so
tomorrow.
The resistance of the retest and the support of the macro are intersecting on September 12th, which is Tuesday next week. Now, I also ran the trend line of the resistance of the retest. I ran it all the way down to 0, because this is a very strong resistance right now. I just wanted to point this out. So first rejection here, second rejection here, again, multiple wicks off right here, another rejection here, and I just ran it all the way down to 0. This trend hits 0 September 15th, which is Friday next week. This resistance line that we're seeing, that we're trading in right now, is hitting 0 on Friday next week, September 15th. I don't think we're going to 0, not by any means. I'm just pointing this out. What this is telling me more than likely is that next week will be green, possibly a confirmation move off of the support here.
So he also says that it going to 0 is not a bad thing, that every time it's been close to 0 is when it starts to spike up and basically squeeze, because there's nowhere else for it to go. Now, it would only go 0 if AMC is basically like going bankrupt or something like that, and it's not even close to going bankrupt anymore. They're making money. They have that deal with Taylor Swift. A lot of good things are happening
here and breaking through the resistance of this trend that we've been battling since July 21st, over a month. And then one more important date being September 26th. That's when the wedge hits 0. The support of the macro, the descending wedge, hits 0 September 26th. So we are heading for zero right now. I don't think we're going to it. I'm just pointing this out. Both the macro trend, the descending wedge, and the trend of the resistance of the retest.
Okay, go check that out on your own. Go subscribe to him. Him and AmcBiggums. Great analysis of AMC stock. And finally, he does a Fibonacci spiral, a Fib spiral, where he says that the peak, and he's adjusted for this for the reverse split and conversion, that the AMC share prices could go up to $2,600, $2,600 each. Okay, but he believes it for sure will go to $1,400, $1,400. But the Fibonacci spiral is showing $2,600 max. Okay, now if that happens, that could trigger MOASS, and then all of this TA, like nothing matters. Basically, when we go to MOASS territory is like, if in the movie Interstellar, where he's going into the black hole, it's like uncharted territory. Physics, the laws of physics don't matter. Like, things change, and there's a whole different set of rules, or maybe no rules. It's just straight up chaos, right?
I haven't shown this in a while. So from all-time lows on AMC to all-time highs, we actually have a new all-time low over here. I'm not really counting that for the time being. But starting from IPO, the first touch point being the original flat portion, the January squeeze come down, actually bounced right off the spiral on that retracement.
And it is
the June squeeze.
It is still following the spiral. Look at that. Still following it. That's crazy. Crazy.
Obviously rejects the top of the spiral, the downtrend all the way through, and we are now sitting outside the Fibonacci spiral. You can't really see it right here, it's blurry. But the Fibonacci spiral is pointing towards a price target of $2,600, which is completely plausible. Mine, again, is $1,400. $2,600, definitely a plausible price target. Getting into the Fib spiral zoomed in.
Okay, so that is basically all I had. Yeah, fundamentals. And then the last thing that AmcBiggums talks about is phase 6, which go check his videos out. They're really good. He said around maybe the second, third week of September, we should start seeing things. But like now, it's been a whole year since phase 6 has been implemented. The final step where I think institutions, I believe, okay, go double check this. Institutions are unable to are unable to use certain things as collateral, certain assets as collateral. So I don't know if it's like Chinese stocks and things like that. So things that they used to be able to use before. So now they're much more limited. So now they got to be a little more, quote unquote, honest, supposedly, which is going to make it harder for them. It's going to put more pressure on them to sell if they're getting, really, really beat up with the interest, the short interest and all of that. Okay. So take all of that and do with it what you will. Check out the geometric mean calculator, put in your prices, and we haven't even, with this, I don't even hit $3 trillion, dude. So I don't know. Let's see let's go with $3 trillion divided by, we'll go with 198 shares. Again, we're being super conservative. Adam Aaron puts all 40 million shares out there. So $15,000 per share. That would be the average, okay? The average if everybody got out, okay? So let's see if we can hit that on this geometric means calculator. Let's just say everybody's diamond balls, right? Diamond balls at 500. Nobody sells until $500. Oh my God, it's still okay. Well, let's diamond balls it some more. Everybody holds until at least $1,000. Okay, we're still up there, dude. We'll go up to 200K again. Oh my God. Okay, well, let's go to 250K then. There we go. There we get some kind of diamond balls there. So now the geometric mean, so this would be around, that would be like 3.2 trillion. This is with Adam Aaron putting out all those shares, right? If he doesn't, we're gonna probably be able to go higher, right? We would go higher, closer to the what's it called? The market cap of the most expensive company, which is Apple. So look, $250,000 shares if people fucking diamond hand it. Like, it's possible, okay? So, I mean, I'm not telling people what to do, but, like, I'm for sure gonna try to hold. I'm gonna try to hold until, like, 10K and then see what happens from there. I know Ant says like AntsTrades, he says to like sell and then try to buy back lower, but you know, he does say to make your money back. I probably will try to sell a few shares just to make my money back, my original investment, but I'm gonna try to diamond balls it, man. Like just hold. And I think if we all just hold, because when we sell, we're like taking pressure off, right? I mean, they're also still buying the shares, so it's raising the price. So I don't even know how that would affect the squeeze either. But yeah, just try to hold. Try to get what's yours, right? I mean, if people sold here, the average would be $1,000 divided by 5 for reverse split adjustment and reverse split and conversion adjustment divided by 5 would be $200. So people, you know, people bought in at AMC at $75, some of them, or 72, whatever it was. Like imagine if it went to $250. Like that would be the equivalent of this. So we can hold on to much higher numbers. That's it. You know, leave a like, subscribe, leave comments down, do your own geometric means. Let me know when you think you're gonna sell. Okay. See you guys next time.